Tonight's book for tonight is going to be Hershey's Chocolate Math, and we're dealing with Hershey Kisses. Tonight, instead of the silvers, I have three new types of kisses. I have my purple, which is my dark chocolate. I also have my hugs. Woo, folks, that's my weakness right there, folks. I done had about 10 already, so I'm excited about that. Ah! Get up! Get on up! Hey!
They can't hear you.
Right, so here we go. I'm dancing up in here. So what we got right now is the third one is going to be gold, and that is going to be your almond. So this is what we're going to be working with tonight. We'll be doing a combination of multiplication and a combination of addition. What that simply means is, as I told you before, repeated addition. That's what multiplication is. Multiplication is repeated addition. And our book is called that, From Addition to Multiplication. And once again, this is by Jerry Pallotta, illustrated by Rob Bloister. And this comes from Scholastic. So if your teacher asks you to go to the Scholastic, they still have some of these that are available. With all of Jerry Pallotta's books, they have some sort of a theme. So as I read tonight, tonight's theme is going to be about rock climbing. Okay? So you're going to hear some reference about some helmets, some belays, some ropes. You're going to climb up, climb down. So you're going to hear that in between me talking about some different math terms. So here we go. It says, get ready for a math adventure. Let's have some fun. We're going to climb from addition to multiplication. Gather your climbing gear, your helmet, your harness, your special shoes, your rope, your bolts, your cams, and your carabiners. This is what you need for your math gear. We need some math equipment too. Make sure we have a plus sign, a multiplication sign, numbers 0 through 9, parentheses. Okay, I don't have my graph paper tonight, and let's start climbing into higher math. And of course, we need some Hershey Kisses. And I showed you we have gold Hershey Kisses, we have striped Hershey Kisses, and we have purple Hershey Kisses tonight. Here's some Hershey Kisses chocolates. How many are there? We can find out in different ways. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Okay? So let's start by counting some real quick. So I'm going to go one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And so it says, count the candies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. When climbing, we take only one step at a time. But there's an easy way to count the candy. Here's a side note. Chocolate is made from three main ingredients: milk, sugar, and cocoa. I like that combination. Let's count in sets. Let's count in sets. Okay? It says, here's a way to figure out how many chocolates there are. Put the candy in sets of 5. So I'm going to put them in groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another set of 5. Those are my 5 right there. And so basically what we have 5 plus 5 plus 5. When we have 5 plus 5 plus 5, that's going to give us 15. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. What we did, we make groups. Each group is called a set. How many sets are there? There are 3 sets. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 sets. And in each set, there are 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 gives us 15. All right? We're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to put everybody in groups of 3s. We're going to put everybody in groups of 3s. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Okay? Now, what's this saying here? It says a plus sign adds 2 or more numbers together. A plus sign adds 2 or more numbers together. This is a mathematical symbol when we talk about the plus sign. The numbers above and below. Okay? And of course, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 gives us 15. How do I know? Let's count step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It says each candy represents a number. You can group numbers together just like candy. Equal groups or sets. Equal groups of sets, okay? Equal groups of numbers will help you learn addition and multiplication. Let's add them. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. Okay? This is one set, second set, third set, fourth set, and our fifth set. So that is what we did. We just added. And what I've been talking about before, when we talk about repeated addition, that is nothing more than multiplication. Here's what Jerry Pallotta said about multiplication. He says this is a multiplication sign, that which is the letter X. It is used to multiply 2 or more numbers together. The numbers being multiplied are factors. And if I sing factor times factor equals a multiple or product. Factor times factor equals a multiple or product. So that is what we're talking about. So what are you talking about, Mr. Jones? We're going to show you in an array. All right, so I'm going to keep my same 15, but I'm going to do it in a different way. So what's happening here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Depending on how you look at it, that's how you count it. So right now, I'm going up, I got 3. Going to the side, I have 5. So that is a 3 by 5. We call that an array or an area model. We call that an array or a area model. Okay? And we can also do it the opposite way. Okay? And now we go in the opposite direction. That's 3 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 3. So this time, going to the side over here, going up and down. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got 1, 2, 3 going across. But guess what? Both of those will give us what? 15. 3 times 5 is 15. And 5 times 3 is also 15. This is what Jerry Pallotta says. He says the answer in a multiplication equation is called the product. Yes, multiplication is a way to do repeated addition faster. In the equation above, how many sets are there? And we said in this set that you see right here, there are a total of 15 Hershey Kisses in the set right there. And how many items are in each set? How many items in each set? In a set going this way, there are three. 3 rows. We're going to talk about rows and columns in just a second. All right, here's some trivia time again. Every day, the Hershey's Chocolate Factory uses 700,000 quarts of milk. Every day, the Hershey's Chocolate Factory uses 700,000 quarts of milk. That is a lot. All right, now, what we want to talk about now, we want to talk about rows and we want to talk about columns. I want to talk about rows first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? That's my first row. Here's my second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So what you're seeing right now is the rows. Okay? At the bottom, this is the rows right here. The ones we're looking at right here. This is the gold row, the purple row, and the, what is this called, the stripe row. Okay? And it says, find a new foothold and climb to a higher concept. Arrange the candies in rows. A row is side by side or horizontal. When you're going side by side, that is horizontal. Each row has 5 candies in it. Each row has 5 candies in it. All right, here's another piece of trivia. 50,000 cows, wow, are needed every day to supply Hershey with enough milk. 50,000 cows are needed every day to supply Hershey's with enough milk. That is a lot. Okay? Opposite of rows, we're going to have columns. Opposite of rows, we're going to have columns. So we're going to switch this around a little bit. And I'm going to go up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So as you can see right here, I have my different columns right here. Columns are going to go what? Up and down. Columns are going to go up and down. Okay? Columns are going to go up and down. Rows go from side to side. Columns go up and down. Here's a stripe row, purple row, gold row, stripe row, and purple row. Okay? So going up and down, that is our columns. But guess what? We're still saying 3 times 5, which gives us 15. It says a column is up and down or vertical. Another word is for up and down, or column is vertical. They go up, down, up, like an elevator goes up, down, up, down. The climbers are on a vertical ascent, which means they're going up. Each column has 3 candies in it. As you saw before, each one has 3 candies in it. Oh, wow. Let me see, can I pronounce this? All right, here we go. The Aztecs discovered chocolate and called it Zacoel. Okay. Zocotel. Okay. So the Aztecs discovered chocolate. I didn't know that one. All right. Now, what they're going to talk about right now is we're going to talk about how to make a table. Okay. How to make a table. Now, what they're talking about, I call my tables pick and choose charts. And we'll talk about that after I finish reading the book. It says, learn how to make a multiplication table. Put the numbers from 0 to 10 in order vertically works great. Put a mathematical sign after each number and multiply by the number 1. You're working horizontally now. Put equal signs next to the factors and list the products. Here's another trivia question for you. The Hershey's Kiss was introduced in 1907. The Hershey's Kiss was introduced in 1907. Now follow the same steps with the number 2. Count with the number 3. And it says, keep going higher all the way up to 10. This is great. I'm making my own multiplication table. I'm just going to do the multiplications for my 7s and my 8s. That's why I wore my number 7 jersey tonight. Because guess what? My favorite multiplication is going to pop up in both of these tables here. If you're with me now, you can join me now. And we simply go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? And you can go further if you need to. I'm going to put an X that stands for multiplication. These numbers in this column are my first factor. Remember, factor times a factor equals a multiple or product. And of course, that X stands for multiplication. I want to put my next factor, which will be my 7s. I'm going to be multiplying by 7 tonight. Now, without the equal sign, it's called an expression. Without the equal sign, it's called an expression. Now that I'm putting my equal sign in, it's called an equation. Now, let's multiply and see what we're able to get, okay? Once again, factor times a factor, or a factor multiplied by another factor, is going to give you a multiple or product. The product is the answer to a multiplication. And that's what we're talking about right now. We are multiplying. Understand this rule. Anything times 0 will be 0. 1 billion times 0 will be 0. Don't forget that. All right, now, anything times 1 will be its original number. So 1 times 7 will give us 7. 1 times 7 will give us 7. Now, you can do this one or two ways. However your teacher teaches you, that's fine with you. But what I do for mine, I use my individual notches of my fingers. And I use my 3 fingers right here. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I hit my thumb 1 time. That gives me my 7. So right now, what comes after 7? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What comes after 14? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And if you haven't figured it out yet, with my multiplication right now, I'm just doing repeated addition. What comes after 21? 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay? You can use your fingers, or some people use their fingers like this. What come after 28? Using your 7 fingers like this, what come after 28? 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. All I'm doing is I keep adding 7. What comes after 35? 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Or you can just add on the side 42 plus 7. 7, 8, 9, and 4. That gives us 49. Uh-oh. Here's my favorite multiplication fact, folks. Here we go. Plus 7. 9 plus 7 is 16. Carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 56. Now, somebody keeps saying, why is Mr. Jones' favorite multiplication fact 56? Because I love this part right here. I'll put her in blue for us. Because 8 multiplied or times 7 gives us 5, 6. What are you talking about, Mr. Jones? Because if you go this way, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why that's my favorite multiplication fact. I get excited because I know that one automatically. 7 times 8 is 56. 8 times 7 is 56. 5, 6, 7, 8 or 8, 7, 6, 5. It's like that order. I love little weird patterns in math like that, man. All right, what comes out to 56? Plus 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Carry my 1, 4. That's 5, 63. Plus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 70. Here's a little known fact. Anytime you have your 11, the number is going to double. So that's going to be 77. So plus 7 will give us 77. Plus that last 7, that's 14. Carry my 1, 84. So that's what we're talking about right there. Okay? I've talked about this on other videos. And that is what Mr. Jerry is talking about here in our book. And we call this, he calls it making a table. He calls it making a table. I call it a pick and choose chart. Why do I call it a pick and choose chart? Because guess what? When I'm doing my multiplication, my long multiplication, we'll get to in a few moments. When I'm doing my long division, I can see my facts as a visual. I can see it as a visual, and that helps me out. Okay? If we have some time near the end, I might do a few more. But I definitely wanted to do my 7 because I'm wearing my number 7 jersey tonight. And the second reason is I get to show you that 8 times 7 is 56. And that's Mr. Jones's favorite multiplication fact. Let's get back to our story here. And he's still talking about multiplication tables. Learn your multiplication tables. Memorize them. Notice that in multiplication, you can reverse the factors and still come up with the same product. What does he mean by that? He means this right here. I said 8 times 7 is 56, but I also told you that 7 times 8 is 56. Okay? Now, writing like this, I call this writing vertically. Writing vertically. We can also go 8 times 7 equals 56. Or I can go 7 times 8 is equal to 56. And guess what? If you've heard me in the book before, when we go across, that's called going horizontally. Going horizontally. Up and down is called vertical. All right, what he says here. Climbing requires many skills. Practicing your tables is a great skill also. Being able to reverse the factors is called the commutative property of multiplication. There we go. When you are able to flip back and forth from 8 times 7 and 7 times 8, that is called the commutative property of multiplication. Numbers can commute from one place to another. Look at the pattern. There are logical patterns everywhere. One climber leads and another follows. They can change places at any time. No matter who leads, they are still going to reach the top. And this case right here, what is the top? When we find the multiple or product. Because remember, factor times a factor equals a multiple or a product. Now, I want to talk about place value real quick. Okay? And he says to go further and learn to multiply larger numbers, it is important to understand place value. A number's place in relation to a decimal point determines its value. Learn the different places: ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay? And then you got the decimal. Then after that, get your tenths, your hundreds, and your thousands. 1,486,932. Notice the commas. It is customary to put a comma between every third place. Here's a trivia for you. In 1900, the Hershey's milk chocolate bar sold for 5 cents. Woo! I'll be getting a lot of those today. Only 5 cents? A decimal point marks the place between the whole numbers and the pieces of number, which we also call a fraction. Numbers to the left of a decimal are whole numbers. Numbers to the right of the decimal point are fractional numbers or pieces of numbers. The millions place is 7 places away from the decimal point, and they say keep on climbing. So what I want you to do real quick while I'm erasing my board, write a number to the millions place for me. That's what I want you to do. Write a number to the millions place. Any number, doesn't have to be a special number, just write a number that is to the millions place. All right, there's my number right there. 3 million. Okay? Notice there's my first comma here. 3 million. 4,000. And there's my next comma right there. 873. Okay? That decimal means and. That decimal means and. And you got 8 and 6. That is 86 hundredths. 86 hundredths. 3,004,873 and 86 hundredths. Notice, I didn't say 86 cents, okay? I didn't put a dollar sign in front of it. If I had put a dollar sign, then that would have turned it into money. That is the reference that we've been talking about when we talk about this right here. I'm not going over place value fully today. You have to check out my other video here on Miss Emma's house when it talks about rounding and talks about place value. Now, while we're talking about place value, they want you to know that you can multiply 2 digits. And it says, a climber needs 21 bolts to get to the top safely. 4 kids are climbing to the summit. How many bolts are needed to get all 4 to the top? 21 times 4 equals 84. Okay? What are you talking about, Mr. Jones? I'm talking about multiplication. I'm talking about this here. 21 times 4. And I'm going to do this 2 ways. I'm going to do it. I call it daddy's way, because that's the way my daddy taught me, and that's the way his daddy taught him. So I call that the traditional way, or you call it daddy's way. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. That gives me 84. On the same way, I like to do this thing called the Bojangles Big Box. I like to do this thing called the Bojangles Big Box. And what's happening right here, I'm going to have to break this down into 20 plus 1. And that's 0 plus 4. So on top of here, I'm going to put 20 plus 1. Over here, I'm going to put 0 plus 4. And everything's going to meet. Remember I told you anything times 0 is going to be 0. So the 1 and the 0 meet here. The 20 and the 0 meet here. And 1 times 4 is 4. And 20 times 4 is 80. What do you do next? 80 plus 4. What am I doing? I'm adding the pieces in the Bojangles Big Box. And that also gives me what? 84. I'm just reading the book and giving samples because we're just basically reviewing with our book. If you want more information on multiplication, check out Miss Emma's house. And guess what? There's a video on multiplying. And I'll show you how to do the daddy's way. And I'll show you how to do the Bojangles Big Box. So please check that out. All right, Mr. Pallotta says, the author of this book says, 4 times 1 equals 4. 4 times 20 equals 8. 4 plus 8 equals 84. 84 bolts are needed for all 4 climbers to reach the top. Trivia time. The town of Hershey, Pennsylvania used to be called Dairy Church. Oh, I didn't know that one myself. Good one. The town of Hershey, Pennsylvania used to be called Dairy Church. All right. The next section is talking about 2 digits and you're going to be carrying something. Okay. 63 kids invited 5 friends each to climb with them. How many friends are invited climbing? Okay. So this is 63 times 5. 63 times 5. All right, I'm going to do this 2 ways again, too. 63 times 5. I'm going to do it daddy's way or in a traditional way. Why is I called it the daddy's way? Because that's the way my daddy taught me, and that's the way his daddy taught him. So we're going to go 5 times 3, which is 15. And we're going to carry our 1 up here, and I'm going to put a plus sign up here so I won't forget it. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 1 should be 31. My final answer should be 315. All right. On the other side of this, let's talk about the Bojangles Big Box. So I'm going to draw something that looks like a window. And here, this is going to be 60 plus 3 and 0 plus 5. Do the same thing we did up here. This will be 60 plus your 3. And I'll come over here and do 0 plus 5. Anything times 0 in these 2 boxes will be 0. So my 2 boxes at the top have zeros in them. And we know that 5 times 3 will give us 15. And 60 times 5 will give us 300. I'll bring these down here. 300 plus 15. You guessed it. 315. Mr. J. Pallotta says 5 times 3 equals 15. Check. Carry the 1 to the tens place. 5 times 6 equals 30. Plus the 1 equals 31. The product is 315. Or you could do it in your head like this. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 60 is 300. Ta-da. The sum of 15 plus, my fault, I wrote that to the side. My fault, folks. This is addition here at the bottom. That's a plus sign at the bottom. My fault if it looked like multiplication. Because the numbers here in our Bojangle big box, you bring it down here, make sure that you add. Hey, I make mistakes. I just make sure that's why I check on my work, and we go from there. The sum of 15 plus 300 is 315. So Even though it's 2 digits, this is still considered a what? A factor. This is a single digit 5. It's still considered a factor. Even though this is 3 digits, this is called your multiple or your product. Still considered your multiple or your product. All right. This time, let's look at 3 digits. 3 digits. Each of 3 kids climbs 123 feet of rope to climb the next section. How much rope in total is needed? Using multiplication can help you solve the problem. There are a few ways you can figure this out. Okay, once again, I'm just going to stick to my 2 ways right here. I'm going to stick to Daddy's way, which is the traditional way, and I'm going to do the Bojangles Big Box again. So those that are with me right now, want to see what you can do with this one here. It's going to be 123 times 3. 123 times 3. Go ahead and start solving that now. 123 times 3. Huh? It's Joan. I know. We're going to talk about that in just a second. We'll talk about it in just a second. Three times 3 is 9. Up. Okay. 3 times 2 is 6. 9 times 1 is 9. Oh, my fault. Ooh, I'm adding, folks. My fault. Let me do it again. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 369. Okay? This is Daddy's way, which we call the traditional way. Now, with the Bojangles Big Box, I don't have 2 digits now. As I said in the very beginning when I was doing this, now I have what? 3 digits. Since I have 3 digits, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 columns. Remember, when you're going vertically, when you're going up and down, that's called what? Vertical. Okay? So now, what does this mean right here? Very simple. Let me change colors. That's 100 plus 20 plus 3. That's our place value, folks. So what does that mean when we go over here? That's going to be 100 plus 20 plus 3. Now you got here, we're going to put a placeholder of a 0 here. And this is just going to be 0 plus 3 like we did before. So you put your 0 plus 3 here. What does that mean for us? I told you before, anything times 0 will be 0. So the top row going across, that's going to be zeros. 3 times 3 is 9. That looks familiar. 20 times 3, that's 60. And 3 times 100 is 300. You guessed it, we're going to add all 3 together. 300 plus 60 plus 9. Notice how I've lined my place values up. In my ones place, I have a 9. In my tens place, I have a 6. In my hundreds place, I have a 3. And my final answer is 369. 369. Questions or concerns? Questions or concerns? Now, the next one Mr. Pallotta is talking about is a 3-digit and carry. This one says 642 kids climbed on the wall this year. Each climber had 8 Hershey Kiss chocolates. Ooh. Had 8 Hershey Kiss chocolates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Had 8 Hershey Kiss chocolates. Okay? So what we got to do right now is we're going to multiply. Woo, got a lot to do here. So 642 times 8. And if you haven't figured it out yet, guess what? What I'm reading from the book is a word problem. So I ain't want to tell you, but you're doing word problems tonight. So go ahead and start on this for me. 642 times 8. If you need your pick and choose chart, go ahead and write your pick and choose chart down. Oh, I'm in the way. I'll be out of the way in 4 seconds. I am making my table, or what I call the pick and choose chart. And I'm doing it for my 8s because that's the number at the bottom. I'm going to go fast. 0, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. Here's my favorite multiplication fact. 7 times 8 is what? 56. 64, 72. All right, I'm going to do Daddy's way first. That's the traditional way. Why? Because that's the way my daddy taught me, and that's the way his daddy taught him. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. I'm going to circle and put a plus sign beside it. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry your 1. 8 times 4, 32. Plus 1 is 3. So I put a 3 up here, and I circle it. 6 times 8, 48. 49, 50, 51. 5,136. With the big box, I'm going to put my number on this side this time, 0 plus 8, because this represents the what? The Hershey Kisses. On top, I'm going to put 600 plus 40 plus 2. And somebody already told, I hear you already talking. Anything times 0 will be 0. Okay, everybody with me so far? And now we got 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. How many zeros? 1, 2. Got 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32 with 1 0. And 8 times 2 is 16. Now it's more important than ever to do what? Line up your place value. So I'm going to go 4,800 plus 320 plus 16. That is a plus sign. 0, 0, 0 is 6. 2 plus 1 is 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. I carry my 1. It matches, folks. 5,136. 5,136. Questions or concerns with that? And of course, guess what, folks? We can also do 4 digits. And with our Bojangles big box, instead of 3 columns, we're going to end up with 4 columns. And I'll show you that in just a second. 3,421 times 6. 3,421 times 6. This way right here is called the traditional way, or my daddy's way. And if you look at the Bojangles big box way, I now have 4 columns. 4 columns going up and down. 4 columns going up and down. All right. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry my 1. I'm going to circle it, put a plus sign beside it. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 1, 25. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20. Woo! That's 20,526. 20,526. Up here, that's 3,420 plus 1. And over here, that'll be 0, 6. If you guessed it, everything up here, anything times 0 will be a 0. Anytime 0 will be 0. 6 times 3 is 18 with 1, 2, 3 zeros. Next one will be 6 times 4, which is 24 with 2 zeros. 6 times 2 is 12 with 1 0. And 1 times 6 is 6. So I'm going to come over here this time and see if we can get the same answer. So I'm going to come over here. I got 18000, which will be 18,000, plus 2400, 2,400, 120, and 6. All right, that matches. That matches. 4 plus, that's 5. 8, 9, 10. Yep. 20,526. Questions or concerns? Questions or concerns with that? Okay. Now, don't get upset with this one, but I like what Mr. Pallotta is teaching us. He says 3 factors. 2 kids climb to the top of 5 mountains every day for 7 days. How many times will the mountains climb? So we need 2 times 5 times 7. 2 times 5 times 7. 2 times 5 times 7 equals what? Now we're multiplying 3 factors. And some of you saying, oh no, we can't do this. Yes, you can. Because I'm going to tell you something my math teacher taught me a long time ago. He asked me this very important question. If you had to eat an elephant, how would you eat an enormous giant elephant? Okay? I'm going to erase this and then I'll tell you what he told me. If you had a giant cooked elephant in front of you now, and it was huge, woo, how would you eat it? Very simple, folks. You eat that elephant 1 bite at a time. You eat that elephant 1 piece at a time. Woo, perfect timing. I can eat it 1 kiss, or in this case, hug, at a time. Now, I got 2 times 5 times 7. All you have to do is simply multiply 1 piece first. And I'm going to use parentheses to break it down. Because one of my other videos is called Orders of Operation. Whatever you put in orders of operation, whatever you put in the parentheses first, that is what you solve first. Okay? So in this case here, I did 5 times 2, which is 10. I bring this down, times 7 gives me 70. Okay? On the other hand, guess what? I can do parentheses the other way. I can do parentheses the other way. I make it a little smaller down here. Still got 2 times 5 times 7. This time, I'm going to go that way. Put the parentheses around the 7 and the 5. 7 times 5 is 35 times 2. 35 times 2. 10, carry 1, 6, 70. It's the same answer. Okay? And later on, you're going to learn that's going to be called the associative property of multiplication. That's called the associative property of multiplication. All right, got 2 trivia questions for you. Chocolate is made from the seeds of a tropical tree called the coca. Chocolate is made from the seeds of a tropical tree called the coca. The Aztecs used the coca bean as money. The Aztecs used the coca bean as money. And I'm going to stop right there for tonight. Tonight, what we read tonight was Hershey's Chocolate Math from Addition to Multiplication. This is another book by Jerry Pallotta, illustrated by Rob Bloister. I'm enjoying this series with them right here, how they are able to use different candies. And the candy we used tonight were the Hershey Kiss Almond, the Hershey Kiss Hugs, and the Hershey Kiss Special Dark. And those are the purple ones. So I ended up with the purple, gold, and the silver stripes tonight. I just want to thank each and every